Welcome to Whiskey Vibes and Music. It's your boy Nate.
What up, Keo?
And today we're gonna be talking about that Blade and Bow.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Yeah, check them out. Blade and Bow. Welcome to Whiskey Vibes and Music. And here we like to listen to music, vibe,
and occasionally sip a little bit of whiskey.
For sure. Man, so today we doing this Blade and Bow. So basically the MSRP is $49.99. The proof is 91, and the year range between I heard
4 to 6 years.
4 to
6 years is what we're seeing is in the bottle, and quite possibly some of that old Stitzer-Weller that's in there. Which brings us to that point. This is a Stitzer-Weller product. It is owned now by the Diageo company.
Yes.
Stitzer-Weller, they came around 1935, and they were known for making some of the best products that we know today, things like Pappy Van Winkle and so on and so forth. So
For sure.
You know, possibly having some of that old Stitzel juice in this. I mean, I don't know how much, but
it's a mystery.
It's in there. It's in there. Similar to swimwear.
Ooh,
you know what I'm saying?
Talk to him. Yeah, man. But we both tried this a little over 8 months ago.
Yeah.
8 months, a little over one of the two. So it's supposed to be fresh. So for the people that wind up getting it and watching it and drinking it with us, just know we're gonna be on the same path because we haven't had it in a minute.
It's been a while. It could have, I'm curious how this is gonna taste. I when I had it, I thought it was pretty good, but then again, my palate could have been kind of young and not so seasoned. So
for sure.
I'm excited to kind of jump back into it and see what this is gonna be like, and
right.
kind of try to describe it the best way we can to you guys.
Oh yeah, man. And shout out to our subscribers that's been subscribing. Hopefully, y'all tell a friend to tell a friend, and everybody can join in.
Thank you so much for your support. If it wasn't for you guys, we wouldn't have any kind of a podcast that we're working on. So we really appreciate you guys.
Exactly.
So about the Blade and Bow, I mean, the first thing you probably see when you grab the bottle is this beautiful key.
The keys.
Yeah, the keys. And the keys kind of symbolize a couple of things. It symbolizes the 5 tenets of whiskey making, I should say,
For sure.
which equals grains, yeast, fermenting, distillation, and aging.
Right.
So with Blade and Bow, kind of similar to Blanton's, you can collect all 5 keys, and if you take a picture with all 5 keys hanging off the bottle and send it to Stitzer-Weller, aka the Diageo company, you just get some really cool perks. They start to kind of let you know about things that are coming. You get cool newsletters, things like that. So might be worth it to collect all 5. I mean, you gotta really like it at that point, right?
Hey man, do it.
It might be the one for you. It really might.
And even if you ain't into that, man, how cool is just trying to collect the keys? Just to say you did it,
Yeah.
Like, it's still a good thing, man. I need to collect the keys. I don't have the keys. You know what I mean? So I personally need to do that.
100%, man. 100%.
Yep, for sure, man. Well, I think we should go ahead and get into it.
Yeah.
Get them noses going.
Absolutely.
And we can talk a little more.
Let's get into it. As you can see, we're not fresh cracking because we're only humans, and this is our second take.
Oh, yeah. Tell them.
So we're going to get in here and see what we're really working with. I'm excited to see what this is like. It's been a while, my man. It's been a while.
Been a real while.
I wonder if it's going to be like, coming back to an old friend, or if it's going to be like an ex-girlfriend you ain't trying to see again.
I hate them exes.
Get this bottle out of here. We're going to see.
Oh,
let's just see how gentle she is on the nose or not.
Ooh, peaches.
Ooh,
peaches.
I like that. I did, and it kind of got that sour back end of the peaches too that I got right when you said that.
Hey, you know that made me
Kind of like
about,
you're getting close to the seed.
Right. It made me think about Low Down Dirty Shane. He's like, Miss Peaches.
Oh, jeez.
Oh man, that's crazy.
Yeah, it's nice. It's very sweet. It's very bright. I think that I'm getting a little bit of the youth out of it in that brightness, which is not necessary. It's not a bad thing.
No, not at all. Not at all. I get light honey, not the dark honey, like the light honey.
Yep.
I can't sit enough.
A little bit of cinnamon way in the back. It's not overpowering. I don't even think it would be a front note on the palate, but just way in the back.
Right. It's soft. It's so soft. It's so soft. Like the way it smells, it's soft.
It is. Absolutely, it is.
Man, that's crazy.
I'm definitely getting some of the oak barrel. It's not extremely dominant on the front, but the oak barrel comes in really nicely on the back of it. Kind of more on the back end there.
Right.
But I'm getting, definitely more kind of like red fruits. That's for sure. Something kind of, sweet like a ripe red fruit.
Right.
Maybe even like a ripe strawberry.
Nah, for sure. I smell it, strawberry.
Yeah, maybe
you're right.
like a
you're right
red
about
strawberry.
that. I caught that heavy.
Yeah, that's nice.
You're right.
nose is quite
I
nice.
smell the youngness on it now.
You smell the youth on it, just a little bit. Yeah,
I
you can
do.
smell
I
it.
do.
And that typically comes in the form of like brightness. You can smell youth in a whiskey too if it's really ethanol-y. It just really didn't have time to take on that barrel.
Right.
But in this case, it's not ethanol-y. Like when you smell it, it's not slapping your nose with alcohol or anything like that.
Right.
It kind of you get more of like a spring brightness, which is actually quite nice.
Nah, for sure. Man, speaking of Diego, the Diego company, let me make sure I say that right. I'll say that word.
I'm not sure what you're looking to say. I didn't get your notes.
Man, basically, Solaria.
Oh yes, I've heard of this.
Yes, it's the Spanish way of how they create Crown Royal brandy. My bad.
Oh, how they're distilling?
Yeah,
it's a different type of process. The Solero process.
The Solero process.
Yes.
There we go.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. So basically, that's the same process Blade and Bow use.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. I
wonder how that's going to translate on the palate. On the nose, it's very, very nice and sweet. It doesn't remind me anything like a Tennessee whiskey. There's really no sourness or anything like that.
None at all.
They work with more of a sour mash. I'm not saying that whiskey's sour or anything, but you can definitely tell when you're dealing with something like a Tennessee whiskey.
Right, for sure.
I guess there's one way. Ooh, hold on.
What you call?
A little bit of an earthy note right there. Just a tad bit of an earthy note that I just kind of caught right on the back end. Pause. Let's go ahead and get in there and see what kind of notes we get, my man. All right.
Smooth.
Nice.
Smooth.
When I took a sip, I sometimes could take a sip and inhale a little bit through my nose, and I got a little bit of leather on that.
Right.
But right when I took a sip, the first thing that hit my palate was definitely graininess.
Right.
I get some grains, some corns in there.
Yep, definitely. And like you said too, man, the way it smells is the way it tastes too. It tastes pretty young.
It does. It's got a little bit of a youthful feel to it, but gosh, the mouthfeel. It's a little bit thin. It's not super oily, but I wouldn't say it's like really thin.
Right.
It's a little bit thin. The back end of it. Let me get in there again.
Exactly. This kind of remind me of like my grandparents when they used to have an old record player.
Oh, you get
not even just forget tapes, forget CDs. This was the record player,
100%
type of drink. You know?
Yeah, kind of.
That's crazy.
I get a little bit of that, like right there.
Memory.
That was a lot of corn. What I just smelled right there.
It's high grainy. It's definitely high on them grains.
Yeah. As much as it's soft on the palate due to the 91%, or the 91 proof, there's a little bit of a finish there. It's not extremely long
Right.
But it
right.
does hang around, and it's a quite pleasant finish.
Right.
You know,
right.
it's not too aggressive. It's not too oaky. It's actually quite pleasant. The finishes on the back end.
It's crazy. This is crazy. I enjoy this more than I enjoyed it last time.
I think I agree with you on that.
You know, I understand the taste and the notes a little more now.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
And I think I understand the mix. You know, no telling how many different whiskeys in different ages they mixed in this.
Yeah.
You know, we don't know. No one knows. So, man, bring me to a point. Do you think they do the same bottle with different kinds of aged whiskey, but call it Blade and Bone?
I think that there's some consistency in it. I think where the inconsistencies may be is the different barrels that they're mixing into it.
Right.
But I think there is consistency with what they're doing. Definitely, if they're adding any of that old Stitzer Weller, there's definitely consistency on the amount that they're putting in.
Well, that's one consistency.
Yeah, because they're not just pouring whatever they can. Bless you. Of the old whiskey in there. I mean,
right.
Unfortunately, the more we go in age in these days, we're in 2024 right now. Old whiskey is becoming more and more rare.
Right.
So, you know, unlike back in the 80s, when you could go get a bottle for $8 to $10, where they're putting 10, 12, 14-year whiskey in there like it's nothing and blending that, those barrels are gone.
Right.
Nowadays, what you're finding, and back then you were getting a lot of rich, like deep cake flavors and that kind of thing.
Right.
I've had a few Dusties that are like that are really good. By the way, a Dusty is a bottle that was from the 80s or older, or you know, just an older bottle that has been unopened that you just recently opened.
Okay.
So it's collected a lot of dust on it.
Right.
It's called a Dusty. But nowadays, there's less old barrels of whiskey. So a lot of the whiskey that we find on the shelf these days are going to have a little bit more youth in them. They're going to sit right at that 4 age, maybe even in the 2-year range.
Right.
But it's going to have more of a brighter, where, you know, back in the 80s, it was more rich, like cakes and syrups, because they were just much older whiskeys.
Right.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Well, what do you think, man?
I think I like it better than I liked it the last time. I think that it's smooth. I think it got a lot of charisma about it.
Ooh.
Different flavors. Flavors. And as I hit it, man, I tasted dandelions. Like the smell of a dandelion. You know, I got that out of there too.
So that floral kind of brightness,
right. Mixed with the grains. It's real grainy. It's serious on the grains.
Oh yeah, it's definitely grainy on the front.
On the
right when I
grains.
took a sip, the first sip was mostly grains, and as I started to kind of settle into those grains, I really was able to notice that was a lot of corn.
It is.
It's a lot of corn is what I'm smelling and tasting.
Yeah. Exactly.
It's very sweet on the nose. It's sweet and bright on the nose. I think this whiskey is great. I think this is a good whiskey for not only people who are just trying to venture off into something that might be a little bit more, a little different, a little bit more far and wide than what they're used to trying. But I also think that somebody that might be, a little bit more seasoned can come back to something like this and still really appreciate what they're doing here with Diego and Stitzer and Weller.
Right. Yeah. I'm liking this a lot, man. That's why I'm just drinking on it, relaxing.
It is. That's a good point.
A lot.
It's a nice just sipper. You just sit back, sip on it. It's not too hot. But you still get the nice flavors out of it. You still get a little bit of a finish out of it.
Right.
Yeah, for $50. I think it's a buy. If you haven't tried it, I think it's a buy.
Try it.
Is it a buy and a backup for me? No.
Right.
I don't think it's something that I would probably back up or feel like I need to go buy again once I finished it. That's just me personally.
Right.
Maybe you like it. Maybe that's more along the lines of what you like. But for me, it's not a buy and backup.
Right. Excuse me. I got allergies, man. It's serious out here,
Tis
man.
the season, man.
Yeah, it's
spring.
that season, man. Excuse me for that.
Yeah.
But
what do you think?
Man, I think I'd buy it again.
You would buy it backup?
Yes. I would.
Yeah. So
I would definitely buy backup because I get the best of both worlds on it. The smell of it, I enjoy it.
Yeah.
I smell the grains. I like the grains. I like the corn. I like the antique smell that I smell in it. You know, which I'm thinking that it's probably because it's mixed with young and old. You know, I'm probably getting that. And the flavor, my mouth's still watering right now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I taste, it's not a 1-2 punch. You actually taste different things in this.
I'm starting to get some vanilla notes out of it now. You know?
Yeah.
The more that I'm starting to do the back, again, this is a neck pour, you know, so we're coming off of a neck pour, and it's not aggressive. Of course, it's not hot because we're still sitting at 90 proof, but it's been smooth from the neck pour. I can only imagine what the open up would be like after it sits for a couple of weeks and opens up. Right. I can imagine this thing getting sweeter, maybe emphasizing a little bit more on the oak notes.
Right.
Which is nice.
Exactly.
You know?
So,
and if you're really trying to look at something that's from Blade & Bow, something that's a higher level, they got the Blade & Bow 22 year.
Yeah, I want to try that. I ain't never tried that.
Me neither. That sounds pretty exciting to try. I'm definitely 22 years. That's a lot of age in that barrel. There's a lot of flavor there. So,
shout out Blade & Bow.
Yeah, 100%.
Shout out Diego.
The whiskey's not bad. It's not bad. So with that being said, man, scale of 1 to 10, you know, considering price range and proof.
Yes.
You know, where do you put it?
I put it at a 7.
Very nice.
Yes, I put it at a 7 because, like I said, I definitely get this bottle, but this bottle will be more of when people come over, we can drink this daily. We can make different kinds of drink, old fashions or whatever, you know, you may want with it. Like I feel like this can stay in my bottle for the people to be like, okay, I like this a lot.
Yeah.
And they just getting started on the path of whiskey. You know what I mean?
100%.
So I'm with it. I like Blade & Bow. Let's go. Shout out Diego.
Dude's rhyming. For me, I you know, if you mix it, you're gonna have a nice cocktail. That's all it's to it. I would by no means call this a mixer. It's a $50 bottle.
Right.
You know, this bottle is good. It's good neat. I can imagine if you want to open it up with a couple of drops of water, that might change the profile a little bit. It might be worth looking into. Of course, we didn't do it.
Right.
You know, for $50 in the 91 proof, I think it's pretty good. Again, I wouldn't back it up. It's not something that I'm super interested in. It doesn't, you know, get me super excited. But I would, I'd put it at about a 6 for me. 6 out of 10.
6 out of 10?
Yeah, I put it at about a 6 out of 10.
Which is good in the whiskey world. Let's remind y'all of that too. This is good. 6 out of 10 is good in the whiskey world because it's thousands of different kinds of whiskey, tastes, flavors, and you can catch some at 0.
Yeah.
I'd have caught some at 0. I'm not going to tell y'all the name. I think I told y'all. Leave in the comments if you remember the name I said. But it's one I don't like.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's different kinds. It's 6 out of 10. That means go get it and try it.
Give it a try. At the very least, get the bottle, try it. Do I think it's a buy and a backup? No, but you may think it is a buy and a backup. He thinks it's buy and a backup. So, you know, to each their own.
Oh, yeah.
And at the end of the day, thanks for hanging out with us.
Shout out Whiskey Vibes and Music.
Till the next episode, guys.
Oh, yeah. Cheers.